All right, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons, the currently undefeated Atlanta Falcons. This is a team that I think surprised a few people with their start. It's not just the fact they've won the first two games, is they've looked pretty good, pretty balanced doing it. And I think a lot of credit goes to a number of smart moves the Falcons have made. And I think we've got a report, in fact, a couple reports that highlight why the Falcons are here, why they look a lot better than they've done in the past. And it's because they're doing a lot of things right.
Yeah, Nick, I think the moves that you're going to share with the fans today, just maybe the results of those moves, shows this Falcons front office has done a way better job than pretty much anybody has given them credit for. We've given them credit. We've liked a lot of the moves they make, but a lot of people have not given the credit they deserve. So if you want to, give the Falcons their laurels, stay tuned to listen to this update. But Falcons fans, you got a big game coming up against a
Big
tough
game.
Detroit Lions team. I want to know in the comment section below, what do you think the score is going to be? Let us know what you think the final score to the Lions Falcons game will be in the comment section below. We're excited to hear from you. But Nick, let's get on into it. What's going on with the Falcons?
Yeah, so obviously this past offseason, the Atlanta Falcons used a lot of capital, whether in the form of actual cash, like against salary cap, whether in terms of trades or draft capital, to add a lot of players to this team to be an upgrade over the 2022 team. And we've seen so far that their investments are paying big time dividends. In fact, they're doing a lot better than even people like us. And we're very high on the Atlanta Falcons going into the season. They're doing a lot better than even we anticipated. PFF put out a tweet recently, Miles, if you can throw it up for everybody to see. And here's just showing the top three new additions right now, according to PFF, from the Atlanta Falcons in their offseason. Number one is obviously the stellar rookie Bijan Robinson. Remember when everyone was confused why you take a running back right there when they could have maybe gone a different route, maybe Jalen Carter? Well, here you go. Number one rated running back in all of football right now. Bijan Robinson is off to a stellar start. He's a big reason why they're 2-0. But it's not just Robinson. David Onyemata, kind of a low-key, under-the-radar addition, is the highest graded interior defensive lineman in all of football, according to PFF, with a 91.5 grade. And Jesse Bates, the safety they got from the Cincinnati Bengals, bringing him over on a good-sized deal, a 93.3 grade. That is the highest in all of football for a safety position. And just to provide some context for you guys out there who aren't familiar with PFF grades, basically how their scale kind of works. Anything in the kind of the low 70s, low to mid 70s is a starter, is a solid player. Anything in the high 70s to low 80s is kind of it's a good player, right? Not a great player, but a good player. Anything into the mid 80s to high 80s, that's like a star. That's like a Pro Bowl guy. That's a real key player right there. And you can look at Bijan Robinson falls into that. Anything in the 90s, once you get to 90 and above, that's all pro, first team, all pro, kind of elite, all world kind of stuff. And that's what we're seeing according to PFF from David Onyemata and Jesse Bates through the first 2 weeks of the regular season. But it's not just that these guys are playing well, Mize. It's also the investment they put into them and the return off of it. And this is just unbelievable. So if you look at Onyemata right now, he has the 22nd highest annual dollars per year against the salary cap for all interior defensive linemen. For the price of the 22nd highest interior defensive lineman, the Falcons have the best, according to PFF. Again, that's a great steal there. And Jesse Bates has the fourth highest annual per year salary cap hit on his contract with the Atlanta Falcons. He's graded at number one. So again, big return on investment. You got Bijan Robinson, rookie deal, so he's obviously cheap. You got Onyemata, number 22 ranked in terms of payment, interior defensive lineman. Number one in terms of performance, great deal there. And of course, to wrap it all up, Jesse Bates, number 4 ranked in terms of contract, but number 1 in terms of performance. I tell you what, when you get this kind of return on investment, you're going to be good. And we've seen it through the Falcons through the first 2 weeks. It sets up a massive showdown against the Detroit Lions coming up this Sunday. I think this is one of the bigger games, maybe the biggest game so far this season coming up. And the reason the Falcons not only are undefeated, but they look a lot better because of it is because of really smart moves by Terry Fontenot. I think it's sort of a masterclass job from the Falcons, and we've seen it over the past few weeks. I think we'll continue to see it through the rest of the regular season. But enough from me, Miles. Let me throw it over to you now. What are your thoughts on all these moves from the Atlanta Falcons perspective and everything going forward for them, especially against the Lions?
Yeah, Nick, I think these are a number of very good moves. Obviously, Bijan Robinson, stellar player. We've loved what he's done so far. Obviously, Jesse Bates, done really, really well as well. We even broke down the tape of Matt Bergeron. He's looked pretty good. I think he's gonna come into his own, be a really great player. But it's not just those type of guys. There's been some other key additions to this team that really, really stood out. We talked about Onyemata. What about his former teammate, Caden Ellis, another linebacker? He's done pretty good. 21st out of 72 linebackers, 75 PFF grade. Not too shabby. You got Calais Campbell bringing the culture in, kind of teaching this D-line how to be, all consummate professionals, just be really great players. That was a great move. And then we've got a guy that we don't even know how good he could potentially be. Former number 3 overall pick, Jeff Okuda, is going to make his start reportedly against his former team, the Detroit Lions. You know he's got a lot on the line there. He wants to ball out. He wants to show everyone he was worth the number 3 overall pick. He wants to stick it to the Lions. So he's reportedly making his return. We haven't seen him on the field for this Falcons defense. That I would say can't get worse. He's only going to make them better when he is on the field, no matter how well he does or does not play. So I think the Falcons have done a masterful job. I saw a comment earlier about someone talking about, well, all the pundits this offseason said we didn't invest enough in defense. Well, clearly they were wrong. You invested just enough to get huge returns on your investment. You got the penny stocks early. They went through the roof, and now you're getting all of the dividends from there. So this looks like really masterful stuff by the Falcons, just building an elite level team. Like this could be a playoff team that nobody ever expected, almost as if it's like the Seahawks of last year.
And Miles, it's not just the analytics, the smart money, the sports books are starting to see that too. Because going into the Lions game this weekend, which is in Detroit, the Falcons are a 3-point road underdog, which basically means the sports books say they're equivalent teams, right? The home team gets 3 points. That's a general rule of thumb. So right now, the sports books, the smart money, the big money, the guys who make their decisions with billions of dollars behind them are saying the Atlanta Falcons are just as good as a roster as a Detroit Lions team that virtually everybody thought could probably win their division this season, and a Detroit Lions team that week 1, kicking off the regular season, went into Arrowhead Stadium and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So again, that's where people are starting to see where the Falcons are at right now. And look, whether it's the analytics and PFF, whether it's the smart money in the sports books, or just what your eyes are seeing when you watch the Falcons play, this is a different team. This is a new team. This is an exciting team. And frankly, Miles, this is a dangerous team for the rest of the season.